बाहर की markets में when you guys operate, how do you guys compete there? Because bigger audience, bigger brand.
पाकिस्तानी जो फूड टेस्ट है इट हैज़ इट्स ओन यूनिक प्रोपोजिशन। जब आप इंटरनेशनली compete करते हैं इट्स मल्टी कंट्री ब्रांड्स, देन इट कम्स राउंड टू हाउ बिग कैन यू थिंक, यू फोकस ऑन हाउ इज माई प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंट देन व्हाट अदर्स आर ऑफरिंग।
What are some of the challenges जो अभी आप लोगों को face हो रहे हैं going global?
The environment we operate in, to unlock the profitability, to unlock sales, our market is one of the toughest market that exists. An interesting fact that I learned in this organization, बहुत सारे मसाले जो हम घर में यूज़ करते हैं, काली मिर्च, लाल मिर्च and all that, majority of them are imported. They're not grown in Pakistan, right?
Really?
India is the biggest exporter of that.
How do you see the role of AI in shaping the brand?
इट्स अ बज़वर्ड जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं, मैं उसको इस तरीके से देता हूँ, बाज़ लोग यूज़ कर रहे हैं और उनको नहीं पता कि वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं। यू नो द प्रोसेस ऑफ कुकिंग। तो जब आप पकाते हैं और उसमें जब आप नमक डालते हैं, यू डोंट पोर द होल बॉटल इनटू इट, जस्ट स्प्रिंकल इट आउट देयर टू रिफाइन द टेस्ट। एआई एग्जैक्टली यही चीज़ है। Don't look for over usage or embedding AI into everything. It's the right sprinkle of salt at the right place and it can unlock a lot of things.
ज़ाहिर है हम पाकिस्तान में हैं, बहुत volatile market है, political situation, economy, security. So how do you mitigate all of these risks?
End of the day, cash is king. If you're not liquid, आप दुनिया की profitable तरीन organization हो सकते हैं. It will not take you a lot of time to fall down. So the way we focus on this is that
Badr, thank you so much for taking the time out. Before we go into your role in National Food, मुझे थोड़ा सा अगर आप अपना पर्सनल बैकग्राउंड बता सकें कि हाउ डिड यू sort of end up in the finance world?
thank you very much, Tala. Talking about myself, I think I am a millennial in the traditional sense.
Okay.
So आप बोलेंगे very structured, studious. More importantly, pursuing a career जो मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझसे पहले सोचा। एंड ओवर टाइम एज दे से आई वाज लकी कि मुझे ये प्रोफेशन ऐसा लग गया कि मुझे अच्छा लग गया एंड आई स्टार्टेड एंजॉयिंग इट। So finance became my profession as a result of something that was thought of by my father. Was
And then
incredible.
what was the reason of joining National Food? Why did you decided to move here?
अच्छा, उसमें दो चीज़ें थी। व्हेनेवर यू एंटर इन एन एमएनसी और आपने करियर स्टार्ट एमएनसी से करें तो जनरली इट्स लाइक अ जैकपॉट कि आप एमएनसी में एंटर हो गए, नाउ यू मेक अ करियर इन एमएनसी। What I felt was that MNCs have a very rigid kind of a structure in terms of decision making, in terms of creativity. It's all regional driven. So a lot of things are regional driven. So आपके पास to make changes, you have to go through a lot of approval processes. That kind of didn't work with me. I kind of found myself stifled out on that. प्लस बाज़ दफ़ा आपको लगता है कि एज अ पर्सन यू आर प्रोबली नॉट जेलिंग इन द कल्चर एज मच। वो भी एक काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन क्रिएट होती है जहाँ पर मे बी अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल फाउंड देमसेल्व्स थ्राइविंग आउट देयर, बट आई couldn't associate a lot on that. So I thought let's explore somewhere else. Fortunately, found the job at National Foods, and hence I moved on. And here this was more about creating the local setup into the MNC like culture and creating those process driven organization rather than living that process driven organization. So that was a different beast and a ball game altogether.
And how do you define your role in National? Because जनरली तो CFO का जब लोगों के जहन में वही नंबर्स आते हैं कि जी कितने पैसे पड़े हैं, कितने जा रहे हैं, कितने पैसे बन रहे हैं, इंटरनल फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल्स हैं, बट आउट ऑफ दिस हाउ डू यू सी योर रोल?
So I would say two things. Over time, what I've realized is a good finance function does not control outcomes; it co-creates them. Right. So numbers are there to give you that awareness of the risk. So as an organization, as a good finance function, you do not avoid risk. You take informed decisions. Right. The strive is to reduce the number of bad decisions and increase the frequency of good decisions. So that's where the whole finance function comes in as a business partner. It's all about co-creation. Controls are very important, governance is very important, but not at the behest of stifling the business. Business always comes first, and then all of these controls and governance they enable the thriving of that business, right? तो आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ऐसे गार्ड रेल्स दे देते हैं, ऐसी बाउंड्रीज दे देते हैं कि जिसके अंदर द पीपल आर फ्री टू मेक देयर कॉल्स, right? So one function cannot control the entire judgment and the decision making of the organization, right? They have to safeguard the financial wealth, but they have to give the freedom to the people who are on ground, because that's where the real business is coming from. The plant in the factories, the people of sales that are working in the field, that's where the business is coming from. तो अगर कंट्रोल की एम्बिशन में वी स्टार्ट टू स्टाइफल देयर डिसीजन मेकिंग, द बिजनेस विल फॉल डाउन. So it's about giving them that safe space and keeping that eye that the financial health is secured. And that's what the owners, the shareholders, the business are looking for.
और दूसरा एक और भी ज़रा आपने पहले भी जिक्र किया कि इट्स अ पाकिस्तानी ब्रांड. हाउ डिफ़िकल्ट वाज दैट प्रोसेस? ठीक है, द कंपनी इज़ लाइक वेरी ओल्ड एंड स्टिल नाउ, आपने जैसे दुबई का भी जिक्र किया, यू वर देयर फॉर फ्यू ईयर्स टू बिल्ड द इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस. तो उसको लाइक व्हाट वर द सम ऑफ द चैलेंजेस?
Let me give you that context and the story for National Foods, just to put in some context. The fascinating part for me is, even though this company is 50 years old, the ambition is so young, right? Um,
And what do you mean by that?
as of now, let me give you some facts. As of now, in the last 2 decades, we were looking at this interesting fact. Every 5 years, from 2005, this company has doubled its top line minimum every 5 years, right? Every 5 years, 100 से 200, 200 से 400, 400 से 800, तो डबल होता रहा है मिनिमम. लेकिन the more fascinating part is, when you look at the bottom line, it's growing faster than the top line every 5 years, right? So for the last 2 decades, we are maintaining that. और अगर मैं इस पे सिर्फ पिछले 10 साल का व्यू लूँ, so your top line CAGR of the revenue, जो cumulative growth rate है, that's hovering about 15-16%. And the bottom line CAGR is closer to 20%. So which tells me that the growth is just unlocking. Even though we are looking at a market cap of 100 billion now, लेकिन that still seems small. We still see that globally there is a stage के जहाँ पर we have still yet a lot of grounds to conquer. We still see a lot of potential in the Pakistani market because of the upcoming generation, the increasing taste profiles and all. The opportunity is still immense. A lot of categories that we are operating, the penetrations are pretty low. कि आप कितने households में अपना product पहुंचा चुके हैं, that's still a lot of room. So from that perspective, the ambition seems very young. That right now it's just a start game. We're still we're talking about the fact that probably 15% is not enough. Let's target more, right? So that's where it comes around. कि यहाँ तक तो आ गए, but still there is a lot of room to grow and all, right? As far as the challenge goes, in these 13 years, when I joined the organization in 2013, the first 3 to 4 years and the last 7 to 10 years, they are poles apart, right? बहुत दफ़ा मैं लोगों से बात करते हुए कहता हूँ कि if I draw a map of how National Foods was in 2013, you won't recognize the organization that it exists right now, right? And especially in the last 7, 8 years, 10 years, driven from the top, Abrar and Zahid, I think the vision has been immaculate. The way they have brought in talent for multinationals from the high-end talent profiles, it changed the perspective altogether.
But what really changed in the last 6 to 8 years?
So what essentially has changed is कि it has evolved from a local setup, जो आपका local जिसको हम थोड़ी सी crude language में सेठिया organization कहते हैं. Although this never was a सेठिया organization, but people took it that way. It has evolved from that into a real corporate setup. और इसके अंदर बहुत फास्ट ट्रैक चेंजेस आई हैं. द डेवोल्यूशन ऑफ पावर टू द मैनेजमेंट, द प्रोफाइल्स दैट यू हैव इन द मैनेजमेंट. MNC से अब इस वक्त लोग ज्वाइन करने के लिए दे आर रेडी टू इनटू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो व्हेन यू हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ टैलेंट पूल, ऑटोमेटिकली द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लिफ्ट्स अप. डिसीजन मेकिंग आपके पास, you have free way to actually take those decisions. So that has brought majorly a cultural shift in the organization. कि अब चीज़ें ऊपर delegate नहीं होती. People try and take those decisions themselves. There is a very strong professional management, a full layer below the shareholders who are actually up to the mark in driving the business. They want decisions to be done by themselves. प्लस दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि इन द इनिशियल 2-3 years जहाँ पर आपकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बहुत तेज़ी से ग्रो नहीं कर रही थी, सो ऑब्वियसली द डिसीजंस वर टफ, देयर वर टफ डिसीजंस दैट वर टू बी टेकन, एंड विद दोज मैनेजमेंट गाइज कमिंग फ्रॉम MNCs and global experiences, they had the heart to actually take those calls. And once we started to unlock the bottom line, everybody knows when your growth starts to unlock, then the chains come off. आपके पास फिर फ्रीडम होती है, सो वो फिर छोटे छोटे खर्चे मैटर नहीं करते, एंड इट्स ऑल अबाउट टॉकिंग बिग थिंग्स, बिग स्टफ, बिग ग्रोथ. तो वहाँ पर ऑटोमेटिकली चीज़ें मोमेंटम में आना शुरू हो जाती हैं. सो मेजरली इफ़ आई टॉक अबाउट अ कल्चरल शिफ्ट, taking some very hard decisions, and obviously the support from the top, that they want the organization to thrive on its own, on its succession based, that the people are there capable to run the business without constant intervention from the shareholders.
जैसे आपने कहा कि 6 से 8 साल में तकरीबन हमने बहुत मेजर शिफ्ट देखा है. नाउ यू गाइस आर इन ऑलमोस्ट 40 कंट्रीज, ग्लोबल और एक्सपेंशन हो रही है. सो व्हाट वर सम ऑफ द चैलेंजेस इन द लास्ट 6 to 8 years? अगेन उसको नॉट रियली अ सेठिया कंपनी, बट ज़ाहिर है जब आपने उसको कन्वर्ट, आप लोग अभी भी ज़ाहिर है उस प्रोसेस में हैं, ग्लोबल आपने जाना है तो ज़ाहिर है एक और नेक्स्ट लेवल के ऊपर आपने जाना है. तो ओवरऑल एज अ पाकिस्तानी कंपनी क्या चैलेंजेस यू गाइस हैव फेस्ड?
देखिए, इसको दो एंड से एनालाइज कर लेते हैं. एक तो चैलेंज है ऑफ द इन्वायरमेंट वी ऑपरेट इन, राइट? टू अनलॉक द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, टू अनलॉक सेल्स, आवर मार्केट इज़ वन ऑफ द टफेस्ट मार्केट दैट एग्जिस्ट. बहुत सारी MNC स्ट्रगल करती है इस मार्केट के अंदर प्रिवेल करने में. वाई? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली द इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर्स, फॉरेक्स फ्लक्चुएशंस, इन्फ्लेशंस, ये सारी चीज़ें आपको एक मैसिव चैलेंज देती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ जनरेटिंग द ग्रोथ. सेकेंडली, हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट प्रोफाइल है, इट हैज़ अ लॉट टू डू विथ एग्री बेस्ड सोर्सिंग. स्पाइसेस, रेड चिलीज, टोमेटोज, सारी एग्री बेस्ड सोर्सिंग है. और उसमें से फिर एन इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट दैट आई लर्नड इन दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बहुत सारे मसाले जो हम घर में यूज़ करते हैं, काली मिर्च, लाल मिर्च एंड ऑल दैट, majority of them are imported. They're not grown in Pakistan, right?
Really? I
Yes.
thought कि it's a
No,
Interesting.
India is the biggest exporter of that.
Okay.
So lot of those spices are largely imported. It's not in Pakistan, right? So obviously then the forex again comes to play a role. So एक बहुत बड़ा role होता है in terms of how you manage your costs, how you transfer a value to the consumer to charge that premium, to charge that brand value from the consumers, right? So that was one of the main challenges, to build that brand image that can command the value that you want to perceive. The other thing on the same side, whilst we were addressing the external challenges, is to build a culture with the right mindset, right? So there the whole people transformation, a lot of departments that were not existing before, they are here. And National Foods have had a history of actually pioneering a lot of things. With Abrar's vision and all, HR was established way back, even when organizations never thought of bringing in an HR department itself. Similarly, digital media, going into that and increasing the spend on digital media. We were one of the pioneers to make a contract with Google on that, right? So from that front, we had that DNA of going for new things, going for the right things to do. तो उसमें एक कल्चरल माइंडसेट शिफ्ट ऑफ द पीपल इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ब्रिंगिंग द राइट स्किल सेट्स. सो दैट वाज द सेकंड चैलेंज, क्योंकि देन व्हेन यू हैव अ हेरिडेटरी lot of people who have spent 20 plus years in the organization, and kudos to them to lay that foundation to the organization, because they played a very hard role in bringing the organization there. But then there are points where probably you need a fresh mindset, you need a fresher blood to bring a perspective. जो प्रॉब्ली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बहुत अरसे तक रहते रहते आपको लगता है यार थिंक चीज़ें ऐसे ही होनी चाहिए, राइट? सो व्हेन समवन एल्स कम्स फ्रॉम आउटसाइड एंड स्टार्ट्स चैलेंजिंग थिंग्स, तो एक इंटरनल आपके पास जिसको आप बोलते हैं गार्ड्स अप हो जाते हैं कि यार ये क्यों आकर मुझसे ये सवाल कर रहा है. आई थिंक दैट वाज द सेकंड चैलेंज, टू ब्रिंग दैट माइंडसेट चेंज इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड अ कल्चर ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग, क्योंकि पीपल आर जनरली अफ्रेड ऑफ टेकिंग डिसीजंस. व्हेन यू इवन इफ यू वांट आर विलिंग टू गिव पावर, लोग डरते हैं डिसीजन मेकिंग के लिए बिकॉज ऑफ कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज. टू क्रिएट दैट सेफ स्पेस, गो अहेड, टेक द डिसीजंस, वी आर देयर, वी विल गिव यू द सेफ स्पेस, लेट्स ट्राई इट आउट. So that has been an evolution, both external and internal, and alhamdulillah we have done good on that regards.
और आपने भी जैसे ग्लोबल एक्सपेंशन की बात की, विच इज़ अ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट थिंग, स्पेशली कमिंग फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान बिकॉज ऑफ द इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट के मसाइल. व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द चैलेंजेस जो अभी आप लोगों को फेस हो रहे हैं गोइंग ग्लोबल, और उसमें ज़ाहिर है एक ब्रांड की क्रेडिबिलिटी भी और उसकी ज़ाहिर है क्वालिटी भी मेंटेन रखना, उस लेवल के ऊपर रखना, वरना तो ये है कि बाहर थोड़ा सा चीज़ें ये कम हो रही हैं, ये ज़्यादा हो रही हैं. तो
Correct.
ओवरऑल लाइक व्हाट वर सम ऑफ द चैलेंजेस जो आपने अभी तक फेस किए एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आप कहाँ देख रहे हैं उधर?
अच्छा, चैलेंजेस की जब हम बात करें ना एक्सपोर्ट में, सो वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट इमीडिएटली हिट यू इज द वेरिएशन इन द फूड लॉज दैट इज प्रिवेलेंट अक्रॉस द ग्लोब. सो मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ. आप एक बिरयानी मसाले का डब्बा उठाएं, पाकिस्तान में एज़ पर द फूड लॉज व्हाट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड वर्सेस व्हाट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड इन यूरोप वर्सेस व्हाट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड इन नॉर्थ अमेरिका, द स्टैंडर्ड्स आर ऑल डिफरेंट. तो सेम चीज़ बनाने के लिए द काइंड ऑफ मटेरियल यू नीड, द क्वालिटी ऑफ मटेरियल यू नीड, और द मिक्स दैट यू कैन डू, और द एक्स्ट्रा ट्रीटमेंट यू हैव टू डू, इट ऑल वेरीज अक्रॉस द ग्लोब. तो एक सिंगल प्रोडक्ट आप समझ लें कि आपके पास 6-7 डिफरेंट स्पेक्स बन जाते हैं, राइट. सो दैट एड्स कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी टू द एंटायर थिंग, राइट. सेकेंडली ऑब्वियसली फ्रॉम एन एक्सपोर्ट परस्पेक्टिव, आपके पास जो रूम है in terms of investing in the international market based on the regulations of export proceeds and all, they allow about 10% in terms of spending in the market and discounts and all. Now 10%, to give you a perspective how minuscule is that, a market like Pakistan, जो स्पेंड हम सिर्फ ट्रेड पे करते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, द शेल्फ के ऊपर जो आप डिस्प्लेस देखते हैं या रिटेलर्स के जो मार्जिन देखते हैं, that spend is about 20+% just on the trade, right. और जब आप मॉडर्न ट्रेड्स पे बात करते हैं, those are 30%, 35%. और जब आप मार्केटिंग एंड ब्रांड इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात करते हैं, add another 10 to 15% there. So you're talking about 30-35% of your top line investment in order to create the impact जो आप पाकिस्तान में देखते हैं. So compared to that, a 30% pool to actually invest globally, it's very small pool to actually create that kind of brand imagery internationally, right. So obviously then we try and find other ways in terms of creating international setups, creating funding opportunities outside, doing what we did with A1 Cash and Carry to create certain funds. So आप फिर different ways निकालते हैं to overcome those challenges. But as far as the opportunity goes, opportunities are immense. What we are seeing as a fantastic trend or an evolving trend is, पहले बात होती थी इंटरनेशनल में एथनिक कंज्यूमर्स, ये वो कंज्यूमर्स हैं जो हु हैव रूट इन द साउथ एशियन और द पाकिस्तानी और इन द इंडियन कुजीन, उसको हम एथनिक कंज्यूमर्स कहते हैं. एंड देन देयर आर द मेन स्ट्रीम्स विच आर व्हाट यू वुड से द गोरा कंज्यूमर्स, राइट, दैट आर नॉट अट्यून टू द स्पाइसेस एंड द टेस्ट प्रोफाइल्स ऑफ द साउथ एशियन कुजीन. द इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग इज़ कि क्योंकि अब 2-3 जनरेशन्स गुजर गई हैं कि पाकिस्तानी लोग जो बाहर गए हैं या इंडियन लोग जो बाहर गए हैं, दे हैव स्टार्टेड टू मिंगल विद द मेन स्ट्रीम पीपल. The mainstream people are now interested in these ethnic cuisines. So suddenly your diaspora of population is not the South Asian population abroad, but the whole world, right? The stores like the Walmarts or the Costco's of the world, or Tesco and all, they want ethnic cuisines to be displayed on their aisles, and which is a major breakthrough because this is unprecedented. People want to try this taste profile. There is fusion that is coming across. So from that respect, the opportunity is huge. And interestingly, अगर आप हमारी recent international product portfolio देखेंगे, it is skewed towards targeting those mainstream consumers whilst rooting the South Asian cuisine. जैसे for example हमारी sauces हैं, the hot sauces. We relaunched that in the last year. And it kind of got recognized as top sauces from international chefs as well. All of them got some stars on the taste profile. Those are very ethnic sauces, the green chilies and the turmerins and all. But उसकी जो appeal है, it's appealing to the mainstream consumers as well. It gives them that different taste profiles. Similarly, if you look at crushed pickles, जो पाकिस्तान में भी it's a hit product, internationally it's a hit product, because of the diversity of its usage, and we have extended that range as well. So ये जो products हैं beyond the recipe mixes which are really the traditional cuisines, ये वो फ्यूजन प्रोडक्ट्स हैं that are really being applied in a very different way, in a lot of different applications that even we are seeing that people are being creative in using those products. So from that perspective, we believe the international opportunity is humongous for us. So it's there.
और ओवरऑल सबसे बड़ी मार्केट्स आप लोगों के लिए कौन सी हैं? बिकॉज लाइक नॉर्मली तो अगर आप वैसे एज अ ऑडियंस सोचें तो जैसे आपने पहले भी जिक्र किया कि जी डायस्पोरा, सो डायस्पोरा यूके, यूएस, कनाडा, मिडल ईस्ट, और बट ज़ाहिर है अब हमने देखा कि वेस्टर्न ऑडियंस भी बहुत ज़्यादा वो करने लगे हैं, एंड देन पड़ोसी मुल्क इज़ द कंपेटिटर एज वेल, ज़ाहिर है वो भी लोग वहाँ से भी वो बहुत ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं. सो अभी वेयर डू यू सी कि सबसे ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटी भी और लाइक योर कस्टमर बेस राइट नाउ?
सो लार्जली अगर हम ग्लोब को बाइफिकेट करें, देर आर थ्री मेजर क्लस्टर्स दैट आर ऑपरेटिंग, और ये आपको जनरली मेजॉरिटी फूड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मिल जाएगा. एक आपका क्लस्टर है नॉर्थ अमेरिका का, यूएस एंड कैनेडा, मेनली एक्सपैट्स एंड नाउ द मेन स्ट्रीम कस्टमर्स कमिंग इन. द सेकेंड सेगमेंट इज द यूके एंड यूरोप. There again, Europe is far more fragmented than UK because UK has a lot more Desi population out there. So that's a bigger market. And then the third, obviously, is the closest, the GCC market, where there are a lot of expats, a lot of labor out there, a lot of Pakistani and Indian diaspora operating out there. So वहाँ पर that's the third cluster. ये तीन major clusters हैं. और इसमें अगर आप even from our own perspectives अगर बात करें, these three almost rank equal in terms of the turnover that they are generating, right? Obviously, from an opportunity perspective, all these three markets present a different opportunity. North America में because of the matured consumers and high-end consumers, products like sauces or pickles, those are kind of things that the mainstream consumers are looking for. UK and Europe, a lot to do with the plain spices. Again, sauces are there, but the recipe mixes are a big thing out there. Because they need convenience with the people, both the family leaders actually working, and also they need convenience out there. And GCC, again, it's a market where it's a mix of class that is operating out there. So the lower end of the class, the labor class that have moved from there, the recipe mixes are a hit. Why? Because it's them connecting back to their roots in terms of the food and all, because that's a big thing for us as a nation. And it's cheaper to get kind of cook at home rather than going outside, right? So it kind of attracts there and appeals there. But even the high end of the consumers that are out there, for them, pickles, sauces, recipes, all of them appeal there. Because again, their convenience plays a big role. So in all these three markets, the kind of consumers are different, the kind of opportunities are different. The play of the market is very different. So for example, in GCC, mainstream is a big thing. In UK and Europe, it's more of a equal footing of the general trade versus the mainstreams. And in North America, again, it's a good interplay of the market. So again, all of those things are very different, and in their own unique way, they present their own opportunities to us in terms of the food exports.
और जो बाहर की मार्केट्स में व्हेन यू गाइस ऑपरेट, ज़ाहिर है पाकिस्तान की एक अपनी एक्सपर्टीज़ भी हैं, एज अ ब्रांड आप लोग भी एक्सपर्टीज़ हैं. Where do you see the challenge, especially with the पड़ोसी मुल्क्स like products, and how do you guys compete there? Because bigger audience, bigger brand, ज़ाहिर है पाकिस्तान से अभी इतने ज़्यादा ब्रांड्स हमने नहीं देखे इतने जाते हुए. It's sort of a very start, the last few years. So what is our sort of advantages and also the disadvantages?
Actually, interestingly, one thing that I personally feel is that oftentimes we kind of look at our things as a competition to, or what you would say, that the challenge of the other country versus us, right? And a lot of times that impact the way we play our products in the international market, right? देखिए पाकिस्तानी जो food taste है, it has its own unique proposition, its own USP, right? And the neighboring countries' taste profile is very different, right? So पाकिस्तान में जब आप शेल्फ के ऊपर compete करते हैं, it's the Pakistani 2, 3 brands, 4 brands that are out there. जब आप internationally compete करते हैं, it's multi-country brands, right? So on a shelf you would find 10, 15 different brands where you have to find that space. So the idea is that the competition there is much bigger than just the neighboring countries. It's a very large portfolio that you are competing against. एंड देन इट कम्स राउंड टू हाउ बिग कैन यू थिंक. आप अपने प्रोडक्ट को आर यू थिंकिंग एज ए वन ऑफ द competitor in the shelf, or you focus on what is how is my product different than what others are offering. The mindset and the strategy changes altogether, right? And we try and operate in that frame, that how do we strategize the USP that we have for consumers. So the innovation in sauces or the innovation in crush pickles, those are breakthrough innovations in just telling the world out there that this is the USP that National Food offers to the consumer versus any other competitor, right? So this comes out as our unique proposition. So that's how our play comes about. That's where we play to our strengths rather than adapting to what the other competition is doing. Obviously, having an eye on that is important, but having your own strategy is far more important. So that you have a laser focused vision as to where you are heading into, and you adapt to how the competition is kind of playing with you in the international market.
AI का अगर हम जिक्र करें, वेरी ट्रेंडी राइट
Yeah.
नाउ. जो लोग नहीं भी यूज़ कर रहे हैं वो भी बात कर रहे हैं, जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं ज़ाहिर है वहाँ तो वो चल रहा है. हाउ डू यू सी द रोल ऑफ AI, स्पेशली इन नेशनल फूड्स, इन शेपिंग द ब्रांड मोर ग्लोबली या पोजिशनिंग के तौर पर?
अच्छा, आपने बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात करी दैट इट्स अ बज़ वर्ड, जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं. मैं उसको इस तरीके से देता हूँ, बाज़ लोग यूज़ कर रहे हैं और उनको नहीं पता कि वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं. Right?
Interesting.
Because like WhatsApp and Facebook and all, the way they are responding to you, it's all AI working for you, but you don't know that it's working for you, right? So recently we attended one session with a consultant, and he said a very interesting thing. एक fear है ना कि AI आया है तो पता नहीं क्या कुछ हो जाएगा. That kind of puts everything in context. What he said was that since you are a food organization, you know the process of cooking. तो जब आप पकाते हैं और उसमें जब आप नमक डालते हैं, यू डोंट पोर द होल बॉटल इनटू इट, जस्ट स्प्रिंकल इट आउट देयर टू रिफाइन द टेस्ट. उसने कहा यार AI एग्जैक्टली यही चीज़ है. Don't look for over usage or embedding AI into everything. It's the right sprinkle of salt at the right place, and it can unlock a lot of things, right? And it puts a lot of things in perspective for you, right? So when we look at AI, obviously we don't want to kind of rush into it, but and be left behind as well, right? So what we are focusing on is where is it that it can really unlock value for us, right? Research has shown that a lot of companies have tried to implement AI on the front end, जहाँ से business आ रहा है sales end के ऊपर या markets के अंदर, and 90+% of the times they have failed, right? So in the rush of putting it across कि जहाँ से business आ रहा है वहाँ हम implement कर दें, they have failed, right? And the maximum productivity that has come across from AI is on the back end processes. And the key parameter for success, or the key requisite for success, is how good were you in reshaping or redesigning that process to embed AI into it.
And how are you ensuring the transparency, governance? ज़ाहिर है आप लोगों के पास बहुत ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, नई मार्केट्स में आप लोग जा रहे हैं, ग्लोबल स्केल के ऊपर ऑपरेशंस हो रहे हैं. सो हाउ आर यू ट्राइंग टू सॉर्ट ऑफ मेक अ सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नेंस? ज़ाहिर है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो बहुत पुरानी है, बट पिछले कुछ सालों में हमने ये भी देखा कि बहुत रैपिडली एक्सपेंशन हो रही है, नई चीज़ें आ रही हैं, AIs हैं, नई टेक्नोलॉजीज़ हैं. तो नए इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए लाइक हाउ आर यू ट्राइंग टू सॉर्ट ऑफ मेक अ वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ मॉडल?
Okay, so I'll take a step back and I'll build it up to where this is coming from. Governance in national foods is not something that we do for compliance. It's something that is part of the DNA of the organization. और DNA की जब मैं बात करता हूँ, it goes way back when this organization was actually established. एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट बताता हूँ. जिस रूम में हम बैठे हैं, दिनार चेम्बर्स was actually the place where this business actually started. A warehouse where Waqar Saab and Majid Saab actually started this business, right? And even in those days, when I talk to people who have worked with them, they told me a very interesting story, and that tells me where this entire governance comes from. That when this company was established and the turnover was like hundreds of thousands or something, and the Sales Tax Act came across, and the first thing that Waqar Saab said was that go and get yourself registered there. right? Put that into context with what we are struggling in in the economy today, right? That's the mindset of the owners that set the foundation of this organization. You read the founder's philosophy, all a perfect ethos. मेरे ख्याल से 40 साल हो गए या 50 साल हो गए उस फाउंडर्स फिलोसफी को लिखे हुए. It's still relevant today in this day and age, right? So from a governance perspective, it's the DNA. It comes from the foundation. It's where we grow and how we grow. For new investors, let's put some facts on the table. Our board of directors, that's where the governance gets established. 40% plus of our directors are independent directors, right? 70% plus of our directors are non-executive directors, directors that are not engaged in the day-to-day operations of the company, and they are actually who are setting the tone of the governance, right? So the whole management is reportable into the board, right? And they are keeping an eye on the governance perspective. And even if you look at the composition of our boards, we are talking about some heavyweights of the industry that adds and brings a lot of value on the table. It's not just independence for the sake of independence, right? So we've had a lot of value addition from those directors in the way we are doing our business. So that's at the top. Then when we come down, this company has a lot of policies and the governance. As I mentioned earlier, when you grow and expand and grow this fast, this discipline and governance, it actually becomes a stimulation of growth, right? Because then you're not worried about के फलां चीज़ में क्या होगा या ये decision कौन होगा. You've set a framework all across. You have a line of authority, you have limits of authority, you have policies, you have guardrails as to what can be done or not, you have budgets, you have strategies. So everything is under an emblem, right? You know these are the boundaries. And those governance actually then enables you to operate in a framework in a very free way, right? So the 2-3 things that we are very non-compromisable: the ethics, quality, and integrity, right? We take this as non-negotiable. We go forward with it with full thrust. And that's where the entire governance is. Governance is all about the character of the organization, the ethos of the organization, right? And if that's on the right radar, governance comes in automatically, right? And we can talk about the compliance to the laws, the compliance to the tax laws, but those are all as part of a listed company. We're all doing that, and that's obviously very, very public and available into the statutory regulators and all. And obviously then, as they say that this trust is built long before it gets announced and tested. So these are just small times when, for example, PSX recognizes NFL as amongst the top 25 companies in 2024, right? Then, or a certificate of merit from the MAP institution. So those are just announcements of what has been happening for a long time in the organization, and now it's coming out and being shown on a larger scale. So a lot of international investors, and I can tell you firsthand, when we meet those international investors and they come and talk to us, one of the critical parameters they see and judge our transparency is the director's report. So I still remember that one comment, and it stuck with me for a long time. And he said that when I read the director's report of National Foods versus any other organization, I feel that the directors are not hiding anything. They want to come transparent and tell the shareholders as to what has happened in the organization, rather than just customary commentary on the results, right? So if you even look at our director's report for the annual report that we publish, we are open about when we struggled in a certain year with distributors or with certain markets. We're very open with that because we know that transparency is the best way to get the trust, right? And it has taken a long time in getting this retail investors and the shareholders to actually rally around. But today, look at the performance in the stock market. It is all, I mean, a result of a lot of efforts, consistent efforts that have come through, right? You look at the share price, it has sort of doubled in the last 2 years. Every last 2 years, you would look at doubling at the share prices as well. So I think governance and transparency is something that even if you try to fake it, you can't fake it. It's very visible. And especially for a listed company, you have nowhere to hide, right?
हम लोगों ने बहुत ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ की और ग्रोथ की तो जिक्र किया, बट ज़ाहिर है हम पाकिस्तान में हैं, बहुत वॉलेटाइल मार्केट है, पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन, इकोनॉमी, सिक्योरिटी, Pakistan overall image, especially if you're going global as well. So how do you mitigate all of these risks? Yeah, how do you plan, especially from a very financial perspective?
देखिए इसमें इसमें बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग पर्सपेक्टिव है. सो a lot of posts or a lot of discussions that I've been seeing recently is around how CFOs kind of overlook certain factors in terms of the company's health, right? So generally जब हम बिजनेस के बारे में बात करते हैं या बिजनेस की स्ट्रेंथ के बारे में बात करते हैं, वी टॉक अबाउट द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस सिचुएशन. कितना रेवेन्यू किया, कितना मार्जिन कमाता है, कितना प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आती है. But that is a facade, right? That is just what you have earned. It may not have converted into cash. End of the day, cash is king. If you're not liquid, आप दुनिया की profitable तरीन organization हो सकते हैं. It will not take you a lot of time to fall down if you don't have the liquidity, right? So the way we focus on this is that we never go big bang start off. We start small, but we grow fast, right? And the philosophy behind that is that we know that in our guardrails, cash is what is important. So in any kind of investments that we do, beyond just the profitability that it can bring across, we talk about what kind of NPVs, the net present values, or the net or the paybacks that it's going to bring about, right? And that is where the real decision making comes about. That is where, as I said, finance as a co-creator comes across. That we are able to challenge certain decisions that if this is not resulting into cash, may look profitable, but cash is not coming. So all of these challenges, even in times of COVIDs, even in times of international depressions, we were able to sustain on a very comfortable way. Why? Because our liquidity was very safe. We always have headrooms, we always monitor the kind of lines we have, the kind of financing we want. The capital allocation framework provides that fantastic framework of actually borrowing slash fund sourcing and spending. So it all binds up together कि आप अपनी financial resources को how are you committing and how are you recovering, right? To give you an example, in the last 3-4 years, those are very critical years, and I'll just put in context to practically demonstrate the same challenges you are talking about and how we fared against that. So in the last 3-4 years, few fact checks, and then we say how National Foods responded to it. Last 3 years, the inflation cumulatively is about 70 odd percent, right? And this year it's slower down, but the previous 2 years it was about 60% cumulatively, right? So that's one fact. The other thing was that in these last 2 years, the company underwent two major projects. One was we went live with the Faisalabad project. It's the state-of-the-art plant that we have done recently. And this is one of the biggest capex that the company has done in a history of 50 years, right? And the third project was the implementation of S4HANA. We moved from ECC into the S4HANA atmosphere. Now, both of these projects, because of the transitions involved in getting it live, there was a lot of inventory build-up that we had to do because वरना फिर supply आपकी disrupt हो जाती है. So there was inventory build-up, and the first focus was to get them live, right? And after those 2 years, when we said that, okay, now these things are up and live, we are good on that, immediately the company's focus shifted towards how do we optimize what we bloated in those 2 years. So अगर आप हमारी operating cycle देखेंगे, it was या inventory days जब आप बात करेंगे, it was crossing 180 days, right? And 5 years back, it was at 80-90 days. So that was the kind of bloating we were talking about. But in the last 1.5 year, we have went into an optimization phase, cutting all the fat across. And in single year, we released like 1.5-2 billion PKR in terms of just operating cash. And what has that done? That has given us leverage to actually alter our dividend policy as well, right? Earlier, this company used to give one dividend per annum. Now, we have committed to shareholders that we will give quarterly dividends. How is that possible? Why? Because we have generated that liquidity. We are looking at liquidity as a key parameter for us. So this company is just not looking at P&Ls. It's the liquidity that we manage and the governance around that in a holistic way that enables us to actually sustain in these challenges.
और थोड़ा सा लॉन्ग टर्म वैल्यू क्रिएशन की अगर आप बात करें, एंड व्हाट इज़ द फ्यूचर sort of looks like overall for you guys? If you can talk to me about, let's say, the next 3 to 5 years? So, on a very macro level, where are you guys heading?
अच्छा, इसको 2-3 हिस्सों में एड्रेस कर लेते हैं। सबसे पहली चीज़ ये देख लेते हैं कि फ्रॉम अ बिज़नेस फ्रंट, राइट? फ्रॉम अ बिज़नेस फ्रंट, वी आर gearing up to addressing the new generation now, right? Because the Gen Zs and the generations after that, they are now getting into the decision-making zone, right? And their eating habits, their profiling, their decision-making is very different, right? So our focus is to be ready with products and portfolios that address this market, right? And that's where the real meat will come across. A lot of decision-making will change, right? So that's the first thing that we are working on. The second thing, from a growth perspective, we feel that whatever the situation in the company, in the country, in terms of the security or the trust or the imagery, we operate in categories that will always be there, right? आपके पास 250 मिलियन लोग हैं, खाना तो सबने खाना है, right? So you will always find a place on the table, right? So the idea is that we find or we feel that this market is only going to grow. Why? Because though there are certain challenges in the spending power of the people, particularly in certain stratas, but overall, from a volumetric perspective, there are a lot of places we are not yet there. And we feel that whenever the competition has come across stronger, we are able to develop the market faster, right? And that's what's helping us. And that's how we feel that our growth is also going to get stimulated on that. On the international front, we feel that we want to now make certain bold decisions in terms of replicating the success story we have done in A1 Cash and Carry. Right, that was one of the master strokes that this company played in the last 7 years. So we want to replicate that. We want to go global, where we are able to generate a lot of our profitability from the international arena. Whilst we have about 40% of our assets internationally, but this is something that will come across as very differentiating point for a Pakistani company to go global at that stage. So that's the vision for the next 5 to 10 years, where we want to go global very, very aggressively. But to do that, as I said, that the way we are operating will also have to be uplifted, because that's the next level game. And to sustain that, you need a backbone that is working at its full proficiency, replicatable in every market. So what we are working on in that perspective is identifying those sweet spots where AI can be sprinkled, where efficiencies can be generated, looking at a lot of automation opportunities from a manufacturing footprint perspective. So all of those avenues, which today we find that probably is hindering us from growing faster, we are addressing that. And as we address that, then obviously that change management will happen over a period of time. As the change happened in the last 6-7 years, it will take its time to drive a change, but we feel it will be faster, because now it's a much younger generation that is working. It's a lot of new mindsets that we are promoting. So the change will come across much faster than the previous one. So both of these combined, we feel that the future looks very strong. Not just for the company, but end of the day for the country as well. Because no matter what the situation is, I think we have become habitual to live in that nazuk mode, and we kind of sustain that. So resilience is there, hope is there. So I think we can thrive. We will thrive, inshallah, for sure.
Lastly, अभी आपने जिक्र किया कि you guys are working on new products, new strategies, especially in context to the Gen Z. So अभी तक, like, what are some of the learnings which you have seen, या जो research आप लोगों ने की, कि how are their food pattern is changing compared to the millennials या जो बाकी पूरे lot है?
I think one of the important thing that we have realized is the exposure to this generation and the adaptability of the international trends in our local society. So, say for example, coffee का trend है, right? It took a lot of time. Cheese का trend है. It took a lot of time before cheese became a trend in this country, right? A lot of companies that are operating in cheese, they shelved it because they didn't see a market potential in Pakistan. But compare that to, for example, matcha. It came about like within a year, and that's coming because of the exposure, right? So what we see differently is that those international products that are a hit in the international market, or that trend in the international market, they come through in Pakistan very fast. And a common trend that is out there is two main things. One is the convenience factor, while maintaining the taste and all. And the second thing is variety, the variations, because with this scrolling and all, the attention span is smaller, so they need diversity. They need a lot of variants. So even for example, in categories like sauces, but now when the local players are entering, look at the variety they are putting on the shelf, right? Those are sauces that we would have known, but now our companies are willing to invest and put those varieties on the table, right? Why is this happening? Because of the new generation, right? They need variety and they need convenience. They need the international trends to come through. So that's what's coming through. That this generation is not the one which will be inspired by particularly recipe mixes, but this may be inspired by the likes of ready to cook meals, for example, or this may be inspired by the likes of the sauces or the marinades, or from that perspective. So there are a lot of different varieties that are available internationally that ease the process of making food and enabling consumption. So that's where this generation is essentially trending towards.
Madhav bhai, thank you so much for taking the time out. It's lovely talking to you, and it's I think also a very proud moment for Pakistan कि बड़ी कम चीज़ें हैं जो पाकिस्तान की global markets में जा रही हैं. That's you know, Zaira National is a very household name. So whenever you go abroad and see a Pakistani brand, तो वैसे ही दिल से बंदे को खुशी होती है.
Correct.
So amazing work you guys are doing, and lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.